What's up, everybody? Doing back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing a brand new Shin Godzilla news and updates. It's been so long since we've done one of these. I'm so happy to be getting back in the root of things, and especially happy because we don't have to cover any more news about the tail. We can finally move on and talk about some really interesting stuff. So first off, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to show off some really cool stuff. First of all, this picture made me laugh. Yeah, it's definitely true. Shin Godzilla is a better movie than 2014. Deal with that. Second of all, we have some really, really good three-dimensional art for Shin Godzilla. We talked about this with the Wonderfest coverage. We actually talked about before it was really made into this 3D art. We talked about just the base headstand of it with the Wonderfest news update. Here is an incredible diorama of Shin Gojira using his atomic breath alongside of his tail beam. Looks amazing. Let's get into the actual news portion of this news update with it's like a new poster, I guess that's what we'll call it. A new Shin Gojira Generations poster. Looks incredible. I freaking love that. So that is really, really great. Now getting into Shin Godzilla had a Korean release actually pretty recently. I know no one cares about this, but the reason I wanted to talk about this was just because the trailer, man. The trailer for the Korean version of this movie is so good. This is one of the best movie trailers I've ever seen. I wish this trailer came out before we all saw the movie because, man, I would have torn into this thing. We would have spent hours talking about it. It would have been a lot of fun. The Universal Studios, the Universal Japan ride in, obviously Japan, for Shin Gojira got a new poster. There's been no news surrounding that ever since. If I do remember correctly, as we talked about in previous news updates, the ride already came out and a lot of people seem to like it. There was a lot of merchandise for it and advertising for it. We'll actually get back into that here in a couple seconds when we start talking about the new Bandai figures that came out, but really quickly, really good news for Godzilla fans. Godzilla Resurgence, aka Shin Godzilla, won 7 awards at the 40th Japan Academy Prize Awards. Obviously that's good news for us because if you really like Godzilla, the more attention, the more positive attention this movie gets, the more, the more success the more chance we have in getting a successful sequel, as well as just a sequel in general, as we'll talk about here at the end. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Directors, so I guess 2. It won Best Soundtrack, Best Animation, Best Actress, and one other award that's not listed. So that is really good news. We also got some really great celebration art here from Matt Frank and some other artists, so that's really cool. Now, getting into the Shin Godzilla figure talk here, we're going to kind of blow through this because there's not tons to talk about here. Number one, we have some new, a new Shin Godzilla mug, that there are some figures that you can have accompanying it. There is a re-release of a Shin Godzilla figure that came out a while ago. We covered this on the channel previously, so no need to get into it here. Bandai Shin Godzilla, as I said, we were going to loop back to this, is because Bandai Shin Godzilla is having multiple new releases. They're having variants of their original Kamata-kun and Shinagawa-kun, making them more detailed, more color accurate. These look really, really good. I actually wanted them in a previous live stream I did this week. I mentioned the fact that I really thought I was going to get them, but after just buying the Shin Godzilla Awakening version from SH Monster Arts, I decided it's not worth it to spend my money on any of this stuff, especially because I already ordered the SH Monster Arts versions of Shinagawa-kun and Kamata-kun. So if anything, what I would do is I would buy the variant version of Shinagawa-kun along with one of the other Shin Godzilla figures we'll talk about here in a second. Not saying I will, just saying that if I'm going to buy any of them, that's the one I'm most likely going to buy because I don't like the paint job on the SH Monster Arts version. So, The other versions of Shin Godzilla we got, and this is what we should have expected when we saw the Universal Japan versions of Shin Godzilla from Bandai, which was the purple dorsal fins with the original sculpt. We should have known that we were going to get a variant version that had the open split jaw mouth. That is exactly what we got. We have a split jaw version, we have the original version, the purple atomic breath. It doesn't look like he has an effect, but he has that same sort of aesthetic to him with the light up dorsal fins. As well as the split jaw. We also have a Shin Godzilla coagulant version. Now, this is the only other one that I would consider buying just because I like that tail on it, and it doesn't look like we're getting one from SH Monster Arts. We do have those golden chrome variants of the SH Monster Arts that you could get if you pre-ordered the a very specific version of the Shin Gojira DVD. I did not pre-order that version. In fact, I wanted to pre-order a version. I couldn't because I live in America. So I actually have to wait until someone can pick it up for me and then send it to me. The 4K version is the one I'm looking for. So, this coagulant version looks really nice. The tail, it's Bandai, but it's actually pretty detailed for Bandai. I think the humanoids coming off of it, as well as the face inside of that tail, I think it looks pretty sweet. So, good job, Bandai. You guys stepped up your game. You impressed me. Getting into the last figure for the day, it looks so good. So whenever this comes out, I may have to pick it up because it is like a little Shin Godzilla diorama kind of thing. It looks really cool. So this is him when he's crossing that bridge and they're bombing him. That awesome sequence. This is that. Now, with the release of the Shin Godzilla DVD, as well as the 4K and everything like that, and especially with all the concept art coming out and everything like that, we've been getting a lot of new material. So we got quite a few new promotional videos. These promotional videos kind of just show off what to expect from the DVD special features, which is still really cool. So apparently we're going to be getting some red carpet press footage. We're going to be getting some behind-the-scenes making of the movie, some footage from the test shoot, which obviously we're going to talk about here in a second. We've already gotten some of that footage online, or at least it's leaked online. And then there's just some Blu-ray behind-the-scenes footage that is really cool to look at. So I'm pretty excited to get the DVD and check out all these different special features. They look amazing. Now, let's get into the ones that have been leaked online, because these ones are really, really interesting. To a deleted scene. This was actually posted on Jaynard Badillo's channel. Now, he posts this deleted scene. It's not a deleted scene. It's just a new angle that we've never seen before, but it's also from Shin Godzilla the movie. So it's not necessarily a deleted scene because we've seen it before. This is just a new angle of it. In the movie, we appear on Godzilla's the side of his face. We are right up there with him. It looks like they recut it for the DVD, the Blu-ray, and they have it so you're positioned a little bit below him, and you're still looking up at his head. It's the exact same shot, like I said, like I keep saying. It's just a new angle. We got some behind-the-scenes, deleted scenes of Kamata-kun. It looks like he apparently at one point in the movie was planning to climb a building, fall off, land on the ground, and sweep his head over someone, killing them. That is a really interesting idea. In the movie, of course, we do see him climb the building and then topple over it because he's just too heavy and the building cracks underneath him. I really like the fact that Kamata-kun's just so clumsy. He can't really control his actions. He doesn't quite understand what's going on. He just destroys stuff on accident. Later, Shin Godzilla, when he turns into Godzilla, he destroys stuff intentionally. He doesn't do it a lot. He kind of just walks in a straight line, as they mentioned in the movie. But when he destroys stuff, he's doing it intentionally. In Tokyo, Atomic Breath, he is doing that stuff very intentionally. Now, my favorite deleted scene that we've got that I really wish was in the movie because it is so cool is the flood of blood. So this is Shinagawa-kun when he stops and he's standing completely still. Those helicopters are all lined up, pointed their guns at him, and they're like, oh, we're going to attack him. Should we attack him? There's civilians in the area. What do we do? It looks like he was originally going to just start pouring blood out. This would have killed those civilians. Pouring blood out all through this little area, and it would just start melting everything. You can see it steaming, it pops some car tires. He's just standing there as this stuff comes out of him, and it is really, really awesome. I mean, Kamata-kun, he has blood that pours out of his gills. We don't necessarily think that it burns stuff. We don't see anything like that in the movie. And then, of course, Shin Godzilla, when he's in his final fourth form for the movie, he is bombed in the back in his open ventilation area, and it forces blood out of him there, too, from the bunker busters, but we don't actually see Shinagawa-kun bleed, and I think it would be cool because all three forms of Godzilla would have bled at one point or another in the movie had we gotten this scene in the movie. But I think that's a really awesome sequence. I really wish it was finished because I would love to see the finished version of that. Now, getting into the final deleted scene, this one's been driving people crazy. It is really kind of gruesome looking. It's very disturbing. Just a warning for anyone who hasn't seen it. If you're very skittish or whatever, if you're like sick to your stomach really easily, like if the scene in Shin Godzilla when they blow up his back is too much for you, don't look at this. If that's the case, you're probably too young. I don't know. You must be very, very sensitive if that's too much for you. But let's check out this picture. Really, really cool. So this is when they blast Shin Godzilla. He bleeds all over the city. His dorsal fin's knocked off, lodges itself on a building. They mention the fact, this thing's going to evolve into a brand new Godzilla. You see a chunk of it fall off and land right next to these soldiers. Here it is, the chunk of it, very close up. You can see there's an eye developing here. There's two eyes developing up top. So it is turning into two Shin Godzillas. You also see a whole bunch of teeth, meaning that all that blood, everything they knocked off of Shin Godzilla is going to reproduce into a brand new Godzilla. So basically, we have a world of the Godzillas coming up. If there is a Shin Godzilla sequel, they've got to deal with this somehow, because as you guys can see here, this thing on this building, it is not just a chunk of his body, it is a brand new developing Godzilla, and it is going to cause some damage if there's another Shin Godzilla. Let's talk about Shin Godzilla sequel, shall we? Because it is kind of disappointing. So, recently, and I wish there was some footage of this, or that they were selling the album online, or the performance online, or anything like that, because I would love to hear it, is the Shin Godzilla versus Evangelion crossover concert, and it just sounds so cool. So, obviously, if it's a crossover symphony, so it took place in Tokyo, and there was supposedly their special guest stars from the Godzilla anime, Shin Godzilla, and they played a whole bunch of the music. It sounds so dang cool. I wish they were selling this online. I would pay money for it. I just recently bought the Shin Godzilla album, even though I already owned it. I owned the CD, and I got the album on iTunes just for the sake of putting more money into the movie. But, they're not selling this as of now. It's a shame. Anno showed up, sort of. It sounds like he made a guest appearance, and he said the mistranslation was that he said, please look forward to the next entry in the Godzilla series, in the Shin Godzilla series, as well as the Shin Evangelion series. Now, what he actually said, this was confirmed by Anno's studio the day afterward, was that was a mistranslation, as we talked about during my previous live stream. That was a mistranslation. What he actually said was, please look forward to the next entry in the Godzilla series, as well as Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0. I don't know why it's plus 1.0. That's just the official statement that was put out by his studios. And they said that the Godzilla movies that he's referring to are the upcoming Polygon Pictures Godzilla anime, Godzilla Monster Planet. Cannot wait for that one. I actually just finished a news update on it. There's more news that I have to cover in a news update in these next couple days because, it's going to be cool. As well as the fact that he is referring to the legendary Godzilla movies. So, pretty disappointing that there is no confirmation of Shin Godzilla 2 yet. I really am still holding out hope, saying that maybe there's a chance we have a Shin Godzilla 2, but as for now, we're going to have to wait and see how the Godzilla anime fares, because if that one does really poorly, I don't think they're going to do a Shin Godzilla 2, as well as we also have to wait for Kong Skull Island to finish its run in Japan, because I don't think they want to step on that movie. I don't think they want to take any attention away from it by being like, hey, by the way, there's going to be a new Shin Godzilla, so wait then to save your money so you can go see that. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to let Kong Skull Island come out, have its run in Japan, then they're going to announce if they're going to do it based off how well Kong Skull Island does, as well as the Godzilla anime. They may announce Shin Godzilla 2, if there is going to be a Shin Godzilla 2. They may announce it before the Godzilla anime comes out leading up to it, or they may announce afterward. It's all up in the air at this point. There's still no confirmation whether it's going to happen or not. All we can say for certain is that the movie did really well, got lots of awards, so we can all hold out hope that there will be a Shin Godzilla 2. Or, they could just continue the series anthology style like they did with the Millennium. I'm not for that idea. I like continuity. I like things to continue in one storyline, but I'll take what I can get, right? I mean, I wasn't all for Godzilla anime either, but now that we're getting information for it, I'm excited for it. So I guess they can save me from anything. I also was against Shin Godzilla for a little while there too, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So it is what it is. Hopefully, still holding out hope. Shin Godzilla 2. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. D-Man out.